I'll never forget the call. It was late evening, and I was going through cold files at home, trying to rest my eyes. The phone rang. It was the Austin Cold Cases unit. They wanted me in the office first thing tomorrow morning. They told me something big had dropped in the yogurt shop case. My heart pounded. This was the case that haunted us for decades. I dive into memory. It was December 6, 1991. I was a young patrol officer then, but I remember the fire trucks and the sirens. That night, and I can't believe it's yogurt, shop in North Austin caught fire. When firefighters went inside, they found horror. For teenage girls shot bound gagged. The shop had been torched. The community was stunned. The victims were Amy Ayers, only 13, Eliza Thomas, 17, Jennifer Harbison, 17, Sarah Harbison, 15. Eliza and Jennifer worked there that night. Sarah and Amy had come by to get a ride home after the shop closed. That crime was brutal and incomprehensible. The shop's rear door was thought to have been left unlocked. Evidence was destroyed by the fire. Many leads went cold. Over the years, we chased every tip imaginable. False confessions, suspects turned dead ends. The case grew colder. Over the years, younger investigators like me came in, reading old reports, scanning crime scene photos, interviewing witnesses. Some people confessed under pressure in the late 1990s. Two men, Robert Springsteen and Michael Scott, were convicted based largely on confession evidence. But many believe those confessions were coerced, forced. They later recanted them. Eventually, in 2009, the convictions were overturned. New DNA testing showed that the male DNA found in one victim did not match those men. They were released. That left the case unsolved, hanging in the dark for decades. Through all of it, investigators refused to give up. We re-examined old evidence, held open files, applied evolving forensic methods. Every broken lead was stored, every tiny clue preserved. Now, in 2025, those decades of effort paid off. At that meeting, they showed me the match. DNA from under victims' fingernails, a bullet casing in a drain, combined with new techniques and databases. That DNA matched a man long dead, Robert Eugene Brashers. Brashers died in 1999 by suicide during a standoff with police in Missouri. He had a long criminal history in multiple states. Now that history seemed to connect to Austin. The lead detective stood before me, grim and resolute. "We've got multiple lines pointing to him," she said. "Ballistic, genetic, behavioral." I stared at the evidence board. Photos, maps, broken glass, shell casing. The case that haunted me since I was a rookie was suddenly awakening. As the sun passed, I walked the old crime scene in my mind again. The lot where the yogurt shop stood, the back door, the drain where the bullet shell had been washed. I imagine investigators now returning there with fresh gloves, new tools. I picture them scooping soil, re-examining cracks, scanning ground with cameras. I felt chills. The place had been silent for more than 30 years. Now it breathed with purpose. When I stepped into that meeting room, I saw the faces of the victims' families. Siblings, parents, those who had carried grief for 34 years. They listened quietly as the investigators explained the new match. Some wept, some sat still, some looked at nothing but lost time. I felt weight in my throat, pride in the breakthrough, sorrow for what was lost. I watched the team lay out the timeline. On December 6, 1991, late night, someone entered the shop, likely through the back. The girls were overpowered, tied, silenced, then shot. Then the shop was set on fire. Those who responded found chaos. Fire, smoke, blackened walls, broken glass, bodies. Evidence was mutilated by the blaze. Yet, some clues remained: bullet casings, traces of DNA. Now, with modern tools, those remains could be compared against a national database. They matched Brashers. The shell casing in the drain was consistent with a gun he was known to have used. The DNA under a victim's nails matched. The pieces aligned. We called a press conference. Police Chief Lisa Davis spoke. She said, "This is one of the most devastating and haunting cases in the city's history." She added that the suspect was identified through a wide range of DNA tests. I stood near the back. Flashing cameras, reporters shouting questions, grief in every face. The families of Jennifer, Sarah, Eliza, and Amy were there. Someone from Eliza's sister, Sonora, spoke. Her voice trembled. She said she had waited all these years for someone to bring truth. She said loss never ends. I felt her pain deep as I listened. After the studio lights dimmed, the cameras turned off. Investigators whisper about next steps. Checking more of Brashers' history, re-examining evidence in other states, notifying families of prior cases that might link. The case, though reopened, was not closed. They would need to confirm everything, build a legal story, make it airtight. For years, people asked, will we ever know who killed those girls? Will justice come? Families lived with unanswered questions. Lives were diminished. The community carried a scar. Now there is hope, but it's complicated. Brashers is dead. He can't stand trial. So the breakthrough means closure more than courtroom resolution. It means exonerating the wrongfully convicted. It means acknowledging truth. It means those 4 teenage girls get their names back in history as victims of a known suspect. It means letting the world know we did not forget. It means telling future investigators, never stop, never forget, even cold cases can thaw. This discovery also warns us, advances in science matter. Evidence saved, no matter how small, can change stories decades later. I left the conference and walked under night sky. The city lights flickered. The people I passed didn't know the breakthrough yet. I thought of the 4 girls. Each had dreams, lives cut short. I thought of their families, of all the turning years. I felt heavy but resolute that I had been part of something that could finally tip the scales of justice. I pulled out my notebook, wrote the names. Amy Ayers, Eliza Thomas, Jennifer Harbison, Sarah Harbison. I vowed to keep telling their story. If this case inspires renewed faith that even after decades, truth can surface, then the long fight was worth it. The work doesn't end. Evidence must be guarded. Families must be respected. Connections to other cases examined. But this moment is a turning point. It warns us that in darkness, sometimes light finds a crack. And as long as someone is out there that listens, that seeks, that never gives up, victims can finally be named and memories can be honored. If you like our story, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and share this video to your friends. And subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories.